We're gonna start with Animal Farm because this, my God, was a terrible, terrible film. It is a the there it there is an ongoing debate, and it will always be a debate of what makes a good adaptation. Like, how close do you have to hew to the source material, and at what point are you like? At what point is it not working? I've got a lot of friends like who need it to be, and I lean in their department where if you're gonna adapt something, keep as close to the source material as humanly possible. And then there's folks who just take the idea and go to town and like pay no never mind. What Animal Farm does, so I'm going to use Jurassic Park as an example here, because Jurassic Park is the book. Jurassic Park is very, very different from the it's very different from the movie, but the themes are the same, and this is the sticking point here. Are we hewing to what the author's intent was? And this is where Animal Farm, the cartoon, absolutely just spits in the face of the original book. The original book is an overtly political book, and it is doing a very specific thing. It is a very specifically an anti-communist book. What Andy Serkis does with this film is he reverses the polarity and tries to make an anti-capitalist book out of it. And you can kind of see him jumping through hoops to try to. And it's like, it's like, if you're not for capitalism, like, like, that's fine. It is very shitty to take something that's anti-communist and try to make it anti-capitalist. That's subverting the author's actual intent, and that's where I have a big, big, big fucking problem when you're adapting a piece of work. Like, if there is plenty to criticize about capitalism. If you want to make a film about that, write an original piece about that and do that. Do not take a classic work that is done for a specific thing and try to make it the opposite. Like that's a little bit that's I'm not even going to say a little bit. That is a lot bit of a dick move to do. And I would say on top of it, I would say the cardinal sin of the film is trying to take a book that is dark. Like, I reread Animal Farm in 20 like, this is when I was living in California, and it's like the pandemic, you can't leave your apartment, and I reread both 1984 and Animal Farm. I particularly like Animal Farm, and it's doing a specific thing. Like, you should not be don't take what the author did and make it the opposite. That's my rule. Just don't do it. That's and they did. But also, like, in tone, Animal Farm is a dark book, and trying to make a happy face Pixar style narrative out of it is a fail. Like, that is not what that book is. That book it is a dark book. Um and you very well could make a fantastic animated film out of Animal Farm, but it would be a hard PG-13 or an R. It is very dark, and inserting fart jokes into it is like, that's a problem. It does not translate. So I don't know what they were thinking with this movie. It's the structure of it is not great. Again, reverses the polarity of the book, and then, like, given our modern times, it of course has it's trying to take Napoleon and make him a cheap Trump parody, which is like, I'm sorry, like, Napoleon in the book, like, the pigs are it plays the pig the film plays the pigs off as stupid, and part of the thing in the book is they're not stupid. They're actually quite intelligent, they're quite subtle and very, very manipulative. and that's not how they play them in this movie, and that's sort of like the evil of what they do in the book is how you know you know taking the populace and manipulating them to their own means. That's like you have to have some intelligence for that. And the Seth Rogen version of Napoleon doesn't have that remotely. And it's again taking a smart book and making. There are plenty of smart ways in which you could make a film um haranguing Trump. This is the cheap, not thought out version of it. And it's you've got a clearly Elon Musk stand in order to take the jabs at capitalism. And it's just like, okay. Like we see what you're doing. It's not what was in the book. And it's like, come on. Come on. Like, if you're gonna make Animal Farm, make Animal Farm. And that's not what they did. And it's really rather shocking that Angel Studios picked up this movie because it very much clearly has sort of left-wing themes. Like it's very, very biased, and they sort of have cut their teeth on like we're not going to be biased, we're just going to be entertainment. And so this really it really puts a dent in their reputation for we're not going to beat you over the head with a left-wing message. And they're gonna have to, and like this is like I on some level I like what they're I my understanding is that the goal is we're just pure entertainment, we're not gonna hit you over the head, which means we're not gonna hit you over the head with conservative messaging, we're not gonna hit you over the head with left-wing messaging. And this cuts really against what they were planning to do. And to this point, I mean, they had I and this is real, and I didn't catch this until I listened to was listening to some other commentary on YouTube where they takes a direct pot shot via fart joke at the Sound of Freedom, which was a big profitable movie for them. And just like what are you doing, guys? Like you're spitting in the face of your audience, don't spit in the face of your audience. What are you doing? So they're gonna have to make up they are going to have some makeup work to do, because what this says to me is that when it comes to any entertainment, if you're looking to not get crapped on, you have to you have to just again, ultimate at the end of the day, vote with your dollar. Vote with your dollar. And I think with Animal Farm, Angel Studios lost a little bit of trust. And it's like you're gonna think twice and about spending money on it. And it's a very, very interesting. Like I often get caught up in what am I looking for? Because I am not looking for explicitly conservative entertainment. There are very many liberally themed films that I love a great deal. One of my favorites is Aliens. James Cameron, obviously, very much a liberal guy. It's very much a anti corporate film, but I do love it. Like I don't want to be pandered to. I just don't want to be lectured, and that is a balance that any filmmaker is going to have to come to terms with at the end of the day. If it comes to entertainment, like you can do and it doesn't matter what direction it comes from, you can do the whole activist thing, whether it be from the left or the right. It's not the best way to make a movie. And even if you want to make a point, if you're trying to sell a point, a lecture is not necessarily the best way to go about it. And your average normal person is just looking for a little bit of entertainment when they get home. And that's where you fail if you hammer people over the head. And I Angel made a big mistake with this film, and then they made it. There was a little video they did, sort of attacking people who were pointing out that hey, this isn't from the trailer very clearly. This is not Animal Farm. You know, don't attack the viewer. That's At the end of the day, that's not a good plan. It's not a good plan. Don't do it. They're gonna have to make up for that. It's not terminal, but an apology would be nice. And at the end of the day, do not reverse the polarity of the original author. Like, that's a problem. If an author in a book is saying a specific thing, to pull it out and say the opposite thing makes you a little bit of an ass. And that's my thoughts about that. Don't do it. And that's not Orwell was not a capitalist guy. He wanted the socialism, and then he saw firsthand what the Soviet Union was, and then was like, shit, maybe this doesn't work. Doesn't mean he liked capitalism, but he wrote two great novels, 1984 and Animal Farm, to put out there like, hey, this collectivist bullshit doesn't work. Like, that was the message. So to undermine that and try to put a cutesy kid's face on it is absolute fucking bullshit. But that's all I have to say about that.